Well, big time boxing, after a little bit of a hiatus, is back in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center with two guys who have really made names for themselves in Brooklyn. Even though neither one of them is from Brooklyn, they're two of the biggest attractions in Brooklyn because they fought some of the best fights at the Barclays Center in recent years. These are two of the best welterweights in the world. They're two of the best fighters in the world. They're two of the most exciting guys in the world. And I've been saying this for a while. I love this fight. I love this matchup. I mean, this is as good as it gets style-wise in boxing, period. There is no way in the world this isn't going to be, in my mind, the fight of the year candidate because of the way these two guys fight. They get it. They don't understand what boxing is. It's entertainment. This is the entertainment business, and these are two guys that entertain. Shawn Porter's come out on the short end of the stick in a couple of fights, and frankly, those fights could have been scored maybe a little bit differently. Clearly, one of them could have been. And they were both sensational fights. The guy right next to me to the left, I don't think he gets enough respect. This is a guy that just keeps on winning. Every time he gets out there, he wins, and people wonder, how's he doing it? Because he doesn't do X, Y, and Z great. He's a great fighter. You don't have to do one thing great. You have to be able to get up there and compete and entertain people. So on September 8th at the Barclays Center, Showtime Championship Boxing presented by PBC, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. The WBC World Welterweight Championship. These guys deserve that opportunity. The winner of this fight deserves to have a belt. And the guy that has that belt is going to get one of the biggest fights in the world thereafter. They know what the stakes are. They're two professionals. You know, they're both trained by their dads. Danny's trained by Angel Garcia. Kenny Porter trains. And by the way, these are situations where the father-son relationship works in the corner. These are two guys that know how to fight, and they're going to throw down, and they're going to entertain you. So people who love boxing, get your tickets now. You can get them at the box office at the Barclays Center. You can get them at barclayscenter.com, ticketmaster.com, or by calling 1-800-745-3000. There wouldn't be Brooklyn boxing. There wouldn't be the consistency of programming that there is in the Barclays Center as a venue, if not for the man I'm about to bring up. He runs the show there. He loves the sport, and he has done amazing things for the sport of boxing in New York City and in Brooklyn. My friend Brett Yormark.
Thanks, Lou, and good morning / good afternoon, everyone. As Lou said, September 8th should be terrific. I'm personally looking forward to it. It adds to our resume of Brooklyn boxing. It comes almost at the 6-year mark, the anniversary of Barclays Center, so we're thrilled. This is a fight, as Lou said, that everyone's been waiting for, and I'm right there, you know, with the consensus. Both fighters are veterans in our ring. In fact, this is Danny's 7th fight in Brooklyn, Shawn's 5th. And in the process, both have built up a sizable fan base in Brooklyn. Lou said that tickets are on sale, and our pre-sale in just the first few days have been terrific, far exceeding any other fight that they've participated in. So we're looking forward to a sellout crowd on September 8th, and I hope all of you will be joining us. When you think about Danny and what he's done at Barclays Center, he opened the building for Brooklyn boxing almost 6 years ago. And helped really put Brooklyn boxing on the map. So, Danny, I thank you for that, and thank you for keep coming back. It's been a year since you fought in our ring, so the fans are certainly looking forward to welcoming you back to the borough. Shawn, your last 3 fights have been in Brooklyn, so we're thrilled that you're back. And I think you and your dad, when you're not in the ring, you've been sitting ringside probably for every fight in Brooklyn. So welcome back. Thrilled to have you and your family, and again, excited about September 8th. September 8th, it's not just the main event, but we'll be hearing over the course of the next couple of weeks, you know, how loaded this card is from top to bottom, and I think it's indicative of the type of fights we've been hosting in Brooklyn since we got started. This year alone, we've had 4 major fight nights. We have featured some of the top fighters in the sport, with Deontay Wilder, Errol Spence, the Charlo twins, Gervonta Davis, and many, many more. So we're so thankful to be hosting the boxing industry time and time again in Brooklyn. And I think our track record speaks for itself as being really the top venue in the country for boxing. In fact, I'm going to be making an announcement in the coming weeks about our future plans when it comes to boxing in Brooklyn. As many of you know, the Islanders are making their way back to Long Island. They'll be playing half of their games there this year, and hopefully in 1920 all of their games. In 2019, I think it's going to be fair to say that we will have two major sports franchises in the building, the Brooklyn Nets, obviously, and Brooklyn Boxing, and more to come on that. But we are as committed as ever to bring the best of the best to Brooklyn and doing it consistently throughout the year. I want to thank, obviously, the PBC for their continued support, Lou DeBell and his incredible team, Stephen Espinoza and Showtime Championship Boxing. Without you, we wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't be, really, as far as I'm concerned, the destination for boxing in America. I look forward to seeing everyone on the 8th. It should be a spectacular night, and thank you for your continued support.
I want to acknowledge quickly our sponsors, Corona Extra, Casa Noble Tequila, and I want to acknowledge my co-promoter on this event, TGB Promotions. Showtime Boxing has become the industry leader in premium cable boxing in the United States, one of the television leaders of boxing in the world. There is no comparison right now on premium cable in this country. And it's my pleasure to bring up a man largely responsible for that, Stephen Espinoza.
Thanks, Lou. As someone who's a fan and a supporter of the sport, I think personally I'd like to thank both of these guys, both Brett and Lou. If you care about boxing, you care about boxing on the East Coast in New York, you have to recognize that we owe a debt to both of them in their support. Brett over the last 6 years and Lou for a couple decades and longer. And certainly New York City boxing would not be where it is without these two guys right here. Garcia Porter will be the 12th Showtime Championship boxing event of the year. That's 12 championship level events on Showtime. That's just through September. Add in Showbox and the other Showtime boxing events, and we've done 24 live boxing telecasts this year. That's more high-quality boxing events than any other network and any other platform. And it's not just quantity, it's high quality. Garcia Porter will be the 8th matchup this year on Showtime where a top 5 fighter is taking on another top 5 fighter. Again, 8 times on Showtime this year alone, top 5 versus top 5. And in this top 5, we've got Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter with 2 of the strongest resumes, not just in the welterweight division, but in the sport overall. Danny Garcia, 34-1, and with a difference in scoring in 1 round in just 1 card, he's undefeated. That's how close the Thurman fight was. It was decided by 1 round on 1 card, and if that goes the other way, that goes in Danny's fighter. We're talking about an undefeated fighter. Danny won his first title in 2012. Of his last 15 fights, 12 have been against current or former world champions. 12 fights against current or former world champions. Includes Keith Thurman, Robert Guerrero, Paulie Malignaggi, Lamont Peterson, Lucas Matisse, Amir Khan, and more. There's no question Danny's got one of the strongest resumes in the sport. And as Lou mentioned, I don't think he gets credit for it, and I think it's time that he does. Shawn Porter, similar background, same age, won his first title in 2013. Of his last 11 fights, 8 have been against current or former world champions. His resume includes Keith Thurman, Andre Berto, Adrian Broner, Kell Brook, Paulie Malignaggi, Devin Alexander. Between the 2 of them, they've appeared on Showtime and CBS a combined 20 times. Lots of fighters talk about the best fighting the best. Not all of them actually do it. Danny and Shawn are actually doing it. And lots of networks talk about the best fighting the best, but there's really only one network here that's doing it, and that's Showtime. The best fighters, the biggest, most meaningful fights, the most exciting events, that's what we've been doing, and with the help of fighters like Danny and Shawn, that's what we're going to continue to doing. Thank you.
We're going to let these guys answer some questions. And just before we do, I'm a fan before I'm a promoter. I've been a fan of the sport since I was a kid. You know, my grandfather turned me on to the sport when I was 6 years old. He came over from Italy, and there wasn't soccer back then on TV, so it was like boxing, and that's what I grew up on. This is a great fight. You know, as a fan, this is a great fight, and support this kind of fight. There are good fights and matchups between champions and matchups between undefeated guys, and you could still walk in and be bored to tears. On September 8th, that room's going to be electric. You're not going to be bored. You're going to be on the edge of your seat because this is going to be some great shit. And be there. Get your tickets now. Jim Gray, this guy knows how to ask the right questions. He knows how to ask the hard questions. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame, and I turn it over to Jim Gray.
We're looking forward to September 8th over at the Barclays Center. Had the honor and the privilege to have broadcast many of these guys' fights. Looking forward to it, so let's just get going. This kind of started after the Brandon Rios fight. Maybe it's been going on for longer in you guys' mind.
I never publicly apologized to you, so my apologies for
Thank you very much.
stepping on the scene like that.
You don't gotta apologize to him, baby.
Yeah, you do. A public display deserves a public apology, and I appreciate that.
Gotta apologize to him. Apologizing to the wrong person.
No, he interrupted my interview, but he owes you an apology as well. Here we go already. Where we left off. Danny, it was made obvious to you that night that this was the fight that the Porters, Kenny, and Shawn would like to have, and now you have this fight. Were you looking forward to it as much as seemingly they were?
You know, first of all, I want to thank Showtime, Al Heyman, Team Garcia. Thank the media for coming out because, you know, as much as you could be a pain in the ass, we need y'all. But, you know, I'm excited for this fight. I'm excited because I'm a world champion, level fighter, and this gives me an opportunity to be back on the mountaintop where I've been at for so long. So it doesn't matter who it would have been. I'm just excited to be fighting at the Barclays Center and fight for the welterweight title.
Shawn, why was this fight with Danny so important to you, and why have you made that so obvious in the past several months?
Yeah, I think for a long time, just watching him do what he does, and time after time saying, you can't do that to me. This is what I would do to you. And I think it just became to kind of stir up to the point where I really wanted to fight Danny Garcia here, and at his last fight, I saw an opportunity to really get in front of everyone and make that be known worldwide. And hopefully, I think that's why we're here right now. So, for me, my career has not been based upon what I want. So for me to finally get an opportunity to have what I want, I'm thriving right now.
Why hasn't it been based on what you want?
Well, that's how it goes, for some fighters. Some fighters have to wait to find out, what the division is going to do, and, I guess, take what's left or, take what's given to them. I would say, for a majority of my career, I haven't exactly said, I want to fight this guy, and that's the guy that I'm going to fight. I've more so been told, hey, this is what we got for you. Let's go for it, make the best of it. And that's what I've done to this point, So like I said, to finally make my voice heard and have that accepted, it just, fills me up. I'm excited about it.
Danny, you've obviously moved on in your career, but I'm just wondering, as you look back, and Stephen Espinoza at Showtime alluded to it, one card, one fight, one night. Are you haunted? And does that bother you? And do you think more about that loss than you have perhaps your titles and your championships?
You know what? It hurt me for a little bit. It hurt me for a little while because I felt like I closed the fight strong, the 11th, 12th round, and that was the one judge didn't give me the 11th, 12th round, and that's everyone in the world seen those rounds were mine. So when I seen that, it hurt me a little bit. But at the end of the day, I feel motivated again. I feel more motivated after that fight than before that fight.
Why? What's motivating you?
I don't know. It's just something different, you know. I just feel like going there, have fun. You know, it is what it is. I don't have no pressure on my back. I'm just gonna come to fight and do what I do best. Like I said before, I'm coming to fight. I'm not. I mean, we could dance with the stars. You want NBC? We could do that. But I'm coming to fight. And when I say that, I mean it.
Well, he certainly comes to fight, and he makes the fights wild, and he makes them ugly. How do you prepare for something like
I'm
that?
coming to fight.
Well, I understand that, but
Yeah, I mean,
we get that.
I don't understand how I'm just gonna. If you want to stand in the middle of the ring, we can fight. That's what I do.
Will that serve you best?
Whatever.
Yes.
Whatever. I'm stronger than him. I got bigger punching power than him. I'm faster than him. I'm a better all-around fighter than him.
Well, certainly, Shawn, you've been known to make these fights, you know, wild, crazy, difficult to prepare for, and I assume, or should we assume that's the same thing you'll do?
For sure.
Why will it be effective?
I'm a very difficult fighter to prepare for a lot of reasons. You never know what you're going to get with me. You know, like he said before, you know, we can do Dancing with the Stars. You know, I'm a better dancer than he is. Simple as that.
You ain't ever seen me dance.
I seen you do the robot. That's all you do.
I seen you play football.
Yeah. And you see me with the best do it. So that's what it is.
You seen me fight the
But
best
but that's what it is.
I've been the underdog. You ever want to fight?
When I'm in the
underdog?
ring,
Have you ever been an underdog?
when I'm in the ring,
Have you ever been an underdog and won a fight?
yes, most definitely. All my fights, I'm the underdog in every fight.
You
I'm the
are.
underdog in every fight. Yeah,
They picked the perfect fight.
I'm the underdog tonight. I'm the underdog on the 8th.
You already put yourself the underdog. He already came to lose.
I'm the underdog on the 8th because that's what I'm used to. That's all I know. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. That's all I know.
I thought you was from Vegas.
I live in Vegas. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. You know where I'm from.
You say you from Vegas.
You know where I'm from. You know what
was
I
in your
do.
backyard.
It was in my backyard.
That's
You
not your
and
backyard.
you heard me clearly.
That's not your backyard.
You heard me clearly.
I know where you from. I know where you from. I know
Exactly.
where you from. You know where I'm from.
I
I claim Philly. I rep Philly everywhere I go.
I know you do. I know you do. You ain't been nowhere else. You ain't been nowhere
I got a
else.
mansion in Miami, baby.
You ain't been nowhere else.
I got a mansion.
You went
in
to
Miami.
Puerto Rico, they said go home.
Nah, Puerto Rico.
Went to Puerto Rico, they said go home.
You could probably walk.
Wait a minute, I thought you was from Philly.
You walk through Ohio, nobody gonna know you.
I thought you was from
bet
Philly.
y'all walk through Ohio and people know me more than you.
That's impossible.
Hey, folks, hold on a second here.
I bet you.
It really
I bet
doesn't
you
matter where
impossible.
anybody's from.
Put your
okay?
purse on the line.
We'll establish.
Put your purse on the line.
Hold
I
on.
bet you my purse versus your purse. you
No
won't beat
point.
me.
No point. See, here's the thing, people. Just like at his fight. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. All right, here, we'll get back to it. We'll get back to it. But just like the night of the fight, I'm more intelligent than this man is. I jump in the ring and I say, I want to fight you. He said, I'll come to your gym and spar you tomorrow. That's not intelligent. That's not smart.
Why not?
You
spar
sitting
for
up
free.
here right
you spar
now.
for free.
And you sitting up here right now.
Why you stream the fight
and
for free?
I streamed the fight for
Yeah, I
free.
offered you to do the same
Because
thing.
something made sense that night. This don't make sense. What we doing right now makes sense.
Money don't mean nothing to me. I
when
already
I got
that.
in the ring and I barked at you, that made sense. And then when you barked back and said I'll spar you, that did not make sense.
Let me ask you a
So
question
we're here
here.
right now. Go
Hold
ahead.
on.
We
hold
here
on.
right now.
All right.
This guy
Danny,
sounds dumb.
Danny, prior to the end of the Rios fight, did you guys like each other?
I don't know the guy. I don't know him personally.
I don't know him either.
I don't have none
Did
against
you
this guy
dislike him?
personally.
Okay, personally.
But we talking boxing, and he disrespecting me. I never disrespected him.
In what way?
He came in the ring, and this
Okay.
is my time
All
to
right.
shine.
So we're back to that.
I never walked in the ring on him. I would never do that. I would never do that.
Well, now we got Angel. We also have Kenny. So how do you hear your dad when he's throwing out that barrage throughout the entire round? Do you hear that voice? Do you ignore that voice? How do you deal with that?
Of course, it's my dad. I heard his voice for a long time, so
You can pick it up over all of it.
yeah, I heard all kind of voices with him. So, but me and Pops is different, man. Like a lot of people have father or son relationships. Like me and my dad, we go out together. We travel the world together. you know, we go to the strip club together. You know what I mean? So we throw money together. But, you know, we more friends than anything. You know, we come from the bottom. We come from nothing. So we have a friendship. It's just not all about boxing. You know what I mean? We really enjoying the moment, and we're hungry, and we want more.
And obviously, Shawn, Kenny, your father, very important in your corner as well. Explain the dynamic that you have.
A lot the same, you know. For him and I think in a little different than these two right here. For us, boxing is our way of life. This is what he's grown me into, what I've always done. So for us, the night of the fight is that's like Christmas time for us. It's like another birthday or a big celebration. That's the time that we come together the most, and we make the best of every opportunity. And, you know, that's why I'm here right now. You know, Brooklyn doesn't like me because of my hair or the way I dress, or, you know, that I don't wear jewelry, or that I don't cuss, or, you know, things of that nature. Brooklyn likes me because I come to fight and I entertain. And a big portion of that comes from this man over here. He's given me all the tools that I need to become the best boxer that I could be and the best entertainer in this business that I could be.
Final thought that I would have is obviously this is a huge fight for both of you. Where do you feel, should you be victorious in this fight, this sets you up? Does this set you up to wait for Keith Thurman to heal and come back, or Errol Spence, or where do you think this puts you should you be victorious?
You know, at the end of the day, my mindset, I really want to win this fight. You know, so I'm not really looking past the fight. So I got to go September 8th, and I got to grab this title. And then after the fight, you can ask me to fight whoever. And like I always do, I never turned down one opponent in my career. Never turned down one guy in my career. You can ask any of my managers, anybody I ever, Golden Boy, you can ask Golden Boy because they brought me up. You can ask Al Haim, you can ask anybody. I never turned down one opponent, so I'm a fighter. That's what I do.
Shawn, should you be victorious, where do you think that places you?
That belt, that's all I want. That's all I want. I want the WBC title. And I said for a long time it didn't matter who I had to go through to get it. I really wanted it. And it adds, you know, puts more icing on the cake that it happens to be this gentleman right here next to me. Because, you know, him being one of the top fighters in my division for a long time now, you know, to be able to win this belt against someone like this guy, it just kind of solidifies me in what I've been trying to do for a very long time. And the sky's the limit. We all know that. When you got a belt, everything else comes to you. You know, as you saw, I had to go to this man after his fight to try to make this fight happen. You know, I've done some things on social media to try to make this fight happen. I win the belt, and everything else comes to me.
We look forward to September 8th. This is just a personal question as we finish here. How do you keep those shoes clean?
I don't know. They just
You just don't wear them out in public very much, I
don't
guess.
walk on. I walk on water. I don't walk on dirt.
If you walk on water, you wouldn't be entering the ring on
Right.
September 8th. Gentlemen, we look forward to it. It'll be on Showtime, 9 p.m., September 8th, Barclays Center. Get your tickets. We appreciate it, and we look forward to a great fight
Thank you.
between these two great champions. We're going to do a photo now. Then the fighters will be available to talk to you, I guess, individually.